friend Jim here with JB's Big Adventure, coming to you from Lake Chapala, Mexico. Now, I get a lot of requests for folks asking about public transportation, and one of the main ones is about the bus. I'm going to share with you the information about that here in just a moment. But before I get to that, if you haven't already, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's a great community, and now you want to be a part of it. All you've got to do is go to the bottom right-hand corner. There's a little red box. Tap on it, and you're subscribed. Also, give us one of those thumbs up. Lets other people know it's a great video to watch about retiring to Lake Chapala. Now to the bus info. So there is a bus line here. It's called a Chapala bus. And it actually runs from about 7 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night. It runs all the way from Jocotepec all the way to Chapala. And the fare is about 12 pesos. So we're literally talking 50, 60 cents to be able to take the bus line about 15 miles. Now, it stops often through the 15 miles, and I would say that they're probably 10, 15 minutes apart, and they're just constantly driving. It's just continuous because you see them all the time. Also, I want to let folks know that when you get on the bus, just realize that this is the major source of transportation for the Mexican people. And so when you get on the bus, don't necessarily expect to be able to get a seat because they're used really heavily by the locals. And so that's actually getting back and forth here at Lake Chapala, going between Jocotepec and Chapala. Now, there's also taxis here. Some folks rather use a taxi. I suggest having a relationship with a private driver. And here's what I mean by that. There's no Uber here. Although people might tell you there's Uber, I drove Uber for 2 years. I've done all the research and the looking I possibly can. Now, there might be people that live here that do drive Uber, but Uber actually is in Guadalajara. So you're not going to be able to find somebody Uber here unless you're picking it up in Guadalajara. They're driving here and then they're going back. So that's where the Uber would come in. So for the most part, it's the bus line, it's the taxis, and it's the private drivers. Now, there's also a bus that goes directly to Guadalajara. And that bus is actually 120 pesos round trip. It goes every hour on the hour. It also goes from 7 to 9 o'clock. And one of the things on that bus line you ought to know is also it's heavily used by the Mexican people, and it's their mode of transportation getting from the lake going into Guadalajara. And there are people that work there, people that work here, and then they have to get back and forth. And so it just all depends on what time of the day you're catching it, and depending on the number of people that are taking the bus at that time. So the frequency for that bus is once an hour on the hour. But we've actually taken it a few times, and there's times where it's been 15 minutes late or it's 20 minutes late. So just know that for the most part, it's on the hour every hour. Now, there's a benefit living in Mexico as an expat, as an old folk. It's hard to think that you look in the mirror and you realize one day you're going to get old, and here we are. But we thought we were going to live forever. So being a senior, there is the INAPAM, which is a division of the Mexican government that actually provides a 50% off discount card for those individuals that have an interest in getting it. Now, there's a lot of expats that do have it, and it gets you 50% off of a lot of things. I'm going to be covering that in another video. But you can get one of those cards and you get 50% off on the bus fare, whichever bus it is you're taking, whether it's the local or whether it's the one that goes into Guadalajara. And I would say one of the things that's really important too to know about the bus in the Guadalajara, it goes into the bus station, and it's a little bit outside on the side of Guadalajara. So if you're going to be going anywhere else in Guadalajara, you'll need to take a taxi or have a private driver that's there. I do know that private drivers at Lakeside usually charge around 500 pesos to take somebody back and forth to the airport. So I would say you're probably looking at somewhere, around probably $30, $40, $50 for somebody to take you to Guadalajara and come back. So it's a real savings if you take the bus, depending on if you're bringing things back. I mean, when we went to Costco and we bought a heating blanket. And so we went to Costco, took the taxi, got this heating blanket, and then brought it's called the Chapala Plus bus that goes back and forth to Guadalajara. So if that's something that you're wanting to do, going to Costco, you will need to take a taxi cab from the bus station over to Costco and back. Okay, so when it comes to public transportation, that's pretty much the rundown of it. Again, I suggest using private drivers versus taxi drivers. I just think it's a good idea to get a relationship with somebody who drives around. That way they get a chance to know you. And whenever you need them, they're going to be a little bit better at, making sure to come get you at the time that maybe you need to be taken somewhere and such. But here's the other thing about private drivers. They become very popular because of the fact that they're driving a lot of other people around also. So that's going to be another video we got coming up here soon about the private drivers here at Lake Chapala. So, friend, I hope that's been helpful for you, being able to get out and around. Some people just don't want to do much driving when they're here, or some expats don't want to drive at all. So that's the options when it comes to transportation back and forth here on the north side of Lake Chapala. So, friend, if you haven't already, I'd like to encourage you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. It's a great community. I know you want to be a part of it. All you got to do is go to the bottom right-hand side. There's a little red box. Tap on it, and you're subscribed. Also, give us one of those thumbs up. Let other people know it's a great video to watch about retiring to Lake Chapala. Stop by, say hi, ask a question. Let us know of an idea for a video you'd like to see. And make sure you hit the bell, because that way you'll be immediately notified when our next video comes out, and you don't want to miss our next video. So with that, as always, thank you for being a part of this community and supporting this channel. Have an awesome day. We'll see you on the next video.